Hello, Namaste, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor Chidambara from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, PES Institute of Technology, Bangalore. The topic I am going to discuss today is the information security issues in the network environment. Objective of this topic is to give an overview of the major security issues involved in a network environment. On completing of this unit, the student should be able to appreciate the issues and also the solutions that could be possible to overcome this. That's the objective of this particular topic. Information technology, that's what we keep talking about. Information technology is nothing but the storage of information, processing of information, distribution, display. All these things put together, we talk about information technology. Modern society is full of information technology only. So information is power, information is wealth. Information is almost like air that continuously flows. Information flows from human to human, or human to machine, and machine to machine. What do we mean by information? Information can take different forms. It could be handwritten documents, printed documents, or it could be voice, text, image, video, many forms. Having said that, information is wealth. Information may be lost, information may be stolen or altered or misused. Computers are the inevitable source of the information generation. Of course, the entry, data entry or the information entry has to be done by the human beings. So if the information is recorded electronically and is available in the network computers, they are more vulnerable as compared to the information printed on a paper and kept in a cabinet. Protecting information wealth is an indispensable act that to be taken care by the individuals and organizations. What do we mean by information network? Information network is the collection and connection of information generating and receiving entities to facilitate information flow. That's what we call as the network. What is the meaning of information network? Information network is nothing but the collection and connection of information generating and receiving entities to facilitate information flow. As we all know, the internet is the core of today's information network society. Let's look at the macro view of what is internet. In other words, nuts and bolts of internet. Technically speaking, internet is nothing but the connectivity of many computers. In general, they are called hosts, interconnected using the equipments like routers, transmission links, telephone networks. So it's a combination of that. What it means is, when the information has to flow, it has to flow from a source computer to the destination computer through all this equipment, all this communication link and like that. So there is a chance of losing the information or the information getting corrupted in the whole process anywhere in the internet. So that's the challenge. Now let's look at actually what is the meaning of information security. Information security is the practice of defending information from unauthorized access, use, or the disclosure, or the disruption, modification, perusal, inspection, recording, or destruction What is important here is unauthorized. That term is a very important thing here. Information security is not just for the electronic information, it could be for the physical information also. Let's look at the two security aspects of information. One is the information technology security, or the IT security as we call. Second is the information assurance. IT security means the security applied to the technology. That means for the computers, the softwares, the hardware. That's what the IT security means. Information assurance means data is not lost even in the critical conditions. In other words, data should be, or the information should be available all the time. There may be issues like natural disasters, computer server malfunctioning, physical theft, or any other instances like that. Even then, the information should not be lost. Assuring that is one of the important aspects of information security. Why should information be secured? Answer is simple. It's quite obvious. Having said that information is wealth, if an organization has to survive and grow, definitely it has to be secured. So what we mean by information security here is the system and policies of the information security prevents data theft. It avoids legal consequences of not securing information, maintains productivity, files cyber terrorism, prevents identity theft. Let's look at the challenges to provide information security. The question arises in our mind whether information security is just securing the information or data in the computers. The answer is no. It is a global phenomenon, because the internet is a global infrastructure. So we can think of the information security addresses to be addressed at 4 levels, as shown in the diagram here. It's a data, application, host, and network. Protecting data at rest and data in motion are both critical aspects of information security. When I say data at rest and data at motion, what is the difference? Let's look at an example, or an application. Let's say your account is stored in a computer in the bank. That information which is stored in the computer is the data at rest. What happens when you swipe a card in an ATM machine connected to internet and you enter all the details? So the details move through the internet to the server and you get the response back. So this is what is the data at motion. So the challenge is information has to be secured when it is in the computer memory. Information has to be secured when it is moving. That's the challenge. Now let's look at the 3 basic elements of information security. Number 1, confidentiality. Number 2, integrity. Number 3, availability. In fact, these 3 are referred to as CIA triad, or information security triad. Let's briefly look at what these 3 mean. Confidentiality means the information that's not in public domain should stay secret and be accessible to only those persons authorized to access it. Integrity means trustworthiness, origin, completeness. The information should not be tampered by the unauthorized access. That's what is the integrity. Let's look at what CIA means. Number 1, confidentiality. Confidentiality means the information which is not in the public domain should stay as secret. It is only it should be available only for the authorized users. Integrity means it's a trustworthiness, it's a originality, the completeness has to be maintained, and it should not be tampered. Availability means it should be available all the time for the required users, even when there is some crisis and like that. So these are the three basic elements of the information security. Obviously, the information security needs controls. The controls can be information security controls can be categorized as physical, administrative, technical, and functional. Physical controls include the securing even the physical infrastructure like the doors or the fire extinguishers, flood protection, air conditioning, all these things which are needed to secure the hardware or the infrastructure. Administrative controls basically at the organization's process level, but the policies, procedures, guidelines to be followed by the employees of an organization. So that's what is the administrative control. Technical control includes usage of the software or the technology like the firewalls, authentication systems, intrusion systems, file encryption systems. All the technical elements form the technical control. Now let's look at the process of the information security. Now functional control comprises the preventive, detective, and corrective and recovery mechanisms. Let's look at the process of information security. Information access should be for the authorized users. So the steps are, first step is identification, second step is authentication, third step is authorization. What is identification? It is just to confirm who you are, your identity. Normally, for any information access, an user has to register. He would have registered with his credentials and identity. Important point here is that identity should be unique. Like we have in the email addresses, no two email addresses are same. Like the my username may be chidambara0458, so no other person should have that username. Similarly, my email address, if it is chidvijay@gmail.com, no other user has to have that. This is done at the registration time. So that is what says who you are. Authentication. Yes, you have identified yourself, but now it's very important to know, to confirm whether you are the person identified. You claim that you are so and so, whether you are the right person. For that, actually there are some three ways commonly used. Number one is what you know, in the sense using the passwords, secret codes, and personal identification numbers, you can identify. So this is what is known to you. From that, one can confirm that you are the genuine user. Second is what you have, like it could be some hardware interfaces like the smart card or the USB tokens. Only when you use those hardware, you are confirmed that you are the genuine user. Third one is the biometric authentication, which is becoming so popular nowadays. It is the fingerprint or the iris or the retina recognition, so which confirms, or even the voice and the signature recognition. Third is the authorization. You are authenticated. Then next is, so you are ready to access information. Now the question is whether you should be authorized to access all the information at one end, extremely, or you should not be allowed at all, or whether you should be allowed to access some limited information. So this process is what is the authorization. this process is the third step. Let's look at the threats to information security. As you can see in the table, there are 12 threats. Number 1, acts of human error or failure, compromises to intellectual property, deliberate acts of espionage and trespass, deliberate acts of information exhaustion, deliberate acts of sabotage and vandalism, deliberate acts of theft, deliberate software attacks, forces of nature, deviations in quality of service from service providers, technical hardware failures or errors, technical software failures or errors, technological obsolescence. The summary of this table is there are threats from different categories. It's natural, technological, and the threats from the human beings. Information security policy is a mandate for any organization. Many times we may think that information security is just an IT problem, it's a technological problem and like that. No, it's not. It's a business issue. The organizations, whether it's a medium, small or big, they must have the policies and practices to be followed by the employees or even the management of the organization to ensure the information security. So it is not just the technology, it is the discipline put forward by the organization. Not only that, it is not just the technology and policies, it is also a culture to be followed by the employees. Some of the information security policies are labeling the information, modification of the information, accountability, and information ownership. Best practices to protect the digital assets or the assets in the computer: install antivirus software, anti-spyware software, application updates, security bundles, personal firewalls. Nowadays, the wireless world is controlling the whole information technology. The gadgets, phones, smartphones, Wi-Fi devices, Bluetooth devices, whatnot, the whole lot of spectrum of gadgets which are governed by the wireless technologies are giving so much of benefits to the society, but at the same time it is creating the security vulnerabilities. Simple reason, everything goes on air. So anybody can try to capture the signal, tamper the signal. So enough measures have to be taken to take care of the wireless networks. Of late, the information networks are governed by the state of the art wireless technologies. We can see everywhere the gadgets like the smartphones, Wi-Fi devices, Bluetooth devices, and palm top, laptops with wireless technology fit into that. They provide anywhere, everywhere access for the information. That's a great benefit for the humankind. However, along with that, issues of information security is there. For the simple reason, everything goes on air, everything goes on radio signals. Anybody can access, anybody can capture those signals. So the hackers can tamper the data, can to an extent actually they can make the whole network stand still. So that's the greatest threat in the wireless technologies. So while taking the information security in an organization along with the wired networks, one has to take care of the wireless network also. Well, to summarize, modern society is fully dependent on information technology. Information networks are part and parcel of our life. Internet is the core of this information networks. Anywhere, anytime access through wireless technologies is the greatest boon. At the same time, the variety of threats may convert this boon into bane. It's extremely important to protect information through variety of solutions. Information, what I mean here is it's the right blend of technologies, policies, practices, education, and culture. I conclude this discussion with the famous quote of the ancient theatre person Bernard Shaw. He says, "Science and technology solves one problem, creates 10 more problems." So information security information is the best example for that. Of course, we need not be pessimistic on this. Again, the technologists, the managers should be continuously working to overcome these issues and make the information networks beneficial to humankind. Thank you.